Thank you, Manchester United. Thank you so much. And Ines out, Glazers out. Man United 0, Spurs 1. What did we expect? Okay. Well, Spurs had the injuries themselves, and they had some players coming back into the team. Maddison was, as per usual, showing his worth when he's playing against Man United. And listen, at the end of the day, our first half was abysmal. You cannot lie. The way we were sort of fumbling with the ball, and we're looking at the bench. There's 9 kids sitting there, and Ruben Amorim didn't seem to trust the kids. He was one instance when he was looking down, like when it was a corner, didn't want to look up, and he was obviously suffering. But there is no excuse where to not trust your kids. You know what I mean? Where you bring them to play, and you have one senior player sitting there that is double the age and Victor Lindelof. God damn it! At least I thought there was moments in the second half when we kind of dominating them, and we had moments of brilliance where we can actually scored. If you look at Garnacho, he was huffing and puffing, but he was not clinical. I was cussing for Garnacho when he actually missed that open sitter. How could you miss that sitter? It must be something mentally. There was a brilliant moments of, a flick from Xerxes to Bruno. Bruno laid it up over to Garnacho, and Garnacho just sprayed it over the. The ball ended up in Sainsbury car park. But it was an open-ended game. It was kind of entertaining in the second half. It was open up. It was like a basketball match. But Spurs currently was sitting below us 2 points and now climbing above us. And lo and behold, Everton is above Manchester United as well. We are currently sitting 15th. Well done, Ineos. Well done. But I'm very disappointed. I cannot lie. I'm very disappointed regarding Ruben Amorim. Now, if I look at the first half, I had hopes that, of course, you shouldn't burn out some kids from the minute one, but I kind of understood the selection. Okay, this looks good. Xerxes, Højlund on top. But Højlund, we got to talk about Højlund. He was absolutely horrendous, right? Oh, my God, the regression of Højlund. Xerxes looks pretty good. If you look at his overall stats, what he did, Dogo looked pretty sharp as well. He huffed and puffed and tried. But the elephant in the room in the first half was definitely Casimiro. He was targeted by these Spurs players. Their midfield against our midfield, that was just superior. We got overrun, no legs Casimiro, and Bruno kind of playing a little bit deeper, just protecting him. We shouldn't have been doing that. On the bench, you had Sekakone, you had Fletcher, you had abundance of energy. And I expected at least to see some youth be giving at least 10 minutes in the second half. We're talking in the group chat to say what needs to be changed. And 100% Casimiro was the problem. Højlund was the problem. His hold-up play was abysmal. Decision-making from Garnacho was also abysmal. The team looked very, very shite, in my opinion, the first half. They looked a little bit rattled. They looked scared. But it was Spurs. Spurs are not even better than us. And I was thinking, what do we have to lose here? We're certainly not going to catch 10th spot or 8th spot or 9th, or you know what I mean? It was us against Spurs. But guess what? Spurs has now done a double against Man United. We didn't Ange Postecoglou a favor. I'm not going to sit here and be doom and gloom. It is what it is. I think the second half in isolation, I thought it was pretty good for Man United. We started off the second half pretty well, but we didn't score. We couldn't convert the goal. 100% no. And there was an instance where people were shouting penalty, but there was a dive from Casimiro. But as the game grew on, they became nervous. 100% they became nervous because guess what? Spurs backline are fragile. Then they start doing 5 substitutions and introducing their kids as well. When I was looking at Ruben Amorim, I was going frustrated. Ruben, what are you doing? What are you doing? Make some changes. At least, get some momentum, because we had momentum. All we needed was some little bit of a more flair, a little bit more energy, because players look rugged. They look tired, right? We were kind of hoping there's some magical moment of brilliance from Garnacho to score, or Bruno, or some free kick or something, but it didn't. What frustrates me in the dying minutes, 3 minutes left of the game, he subs in. Oh, then he hooks up Casimiro and puts Chido Obi Martin. Great debut, but 3 minutes. What are you supposed to do in 3 minutes? That's just giving the player a little bit of experience. But at least if you looked at the bench, like they were eager to come on, and what can you done differently? Like, you know, what these players did on the pitch today in the second half. At least give them 10, 15 minutes, like one by one. You know, you have more time to do something, right? The game was really lost already, 1-0. So I'm sorry, this Ruben Amorim, this has to be on you. You didn't trust what you had on the bench. And, you know, a lot of you probably might say, well, Mick, you know, don't be harsh. The kids are not ready. But if the kid's not ready, why did they travel? Why did you have them on the bench as disposal? There's big question marks that we have to ask. For me, the season is definitely over, right? And you got to look at the overarching leadership there from Ineos, and they didn't want to spend money. There's no value on the market, like, you know, but they didn't calculate that. They never in their dreams calculate that we have, like, you know, all these injuries, or, you know, oh my God, you know, Licha is out for 12 months. We got reports that, you know, I'm so devastated to see, like, you know, the injury list right now. Kobe Mainoo also reports, according to Ruben Amorim, rest of the season, right? I don't know what's going on with Toby Collier. Don't know, really. It feels so weird. Like, you know, this is a season that I ping it on Ineos. 100% they're to blame because they wrote off the season, right? Everyone knows it. We had a big live stream earlier to say, like, you know, the minute you sack the manager 9 games in, we're talking about Ten Hag, and you're replaced with the manager that you didn't back. What are you expecting? What are you expecting, right? It was shocking to see, actually, and I recall the pundits saying, like, you know, Man United and Spurs shouldn't be sitting down there 15th, 14th, 13th, you know, but it is what it is. It is what it is. On the positive notes, I don't know about you guys, but I was expecting to see more of the youngsters. Like, I was excited for this game because I want to see what this kids was all about. But we could have actually gone up 1-1. We could have. But it comes down to the trust of the manager, that he didn't trust the bench. Why? I don't know. If you look at Ange Postecoglou, like, he took off a lot of his players, putting kids there as well. Yeah. He even played Bergwall. He's another kid as well. I'm just going to have a sip on my whiskey because I think it's well deserved. Like, you know, the season is over. Cheers. Ping back your ears. Listen, at the end of the day, guys, I want to hear from you guys. What are you saying? What are you saying? Miloš Mitic is in the house. Long time. Pozdrav, Miki, prijatelj, brata. Pozdrav, Miloš, kako si? Next match, what Paul is saying, the kids need to play and one half at least. One half at least. Paul, you're tickling my feathers, my friend. Paul, this is exactly what I was thinking. This is what I was getting excited about, Paul. You know, what could have they done any worse than the players that was on the pitch? Is Casimiro the future, or is the kids on the bench the future? At least give them 15 minutes. You know, you had Jack Fletcher on. You had Sekokoni on. They're ready. Obi Martin, 3 minutes, is taking the piss. If you're looking to sort of change the game and get a goal scorer in, at least throw him in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because guess what? Højlund did jack shit. Højlund again getting bullied off there, losing the ball. Absolutely atrocious from Højlund. I think the judge and jury is kind of a little bit out of him, or he's just basically lost the plot. He hasn't scored a Premier League goal since mid-December. Miloš Mitic, Manchester će jedva ostati u Premier League. Yeah, I'm just translating what Miloš is saying. Man United will hardly stay in the Premier League. Well, listen, we are like 9 points away or 10 points away from relegation, but it's looking like we're going to scrap the relegation battle, right? At the end of the day, Goals for George is saying Amorim is a coward and fraud. He disrespected the fans and an academy. 3 more losses, and we'll be surprised if he lasts to the summer. Dalot is doing bozo stuff. Yeah, Dalot was not good at all. Dalot again. Man, why are we starting Dalot? We're starting him at the right, and he didn't do jack shit. Not even one single cross into the box. You know what I mean? I'm not agreeing what you're saying there, because it's not Amorim's fault, right? It's not Amorim's fault that we have 9 players injured, right? I blame it on Ineos 100%. Like, you know, they were cowards. They They looked at the wallet rather than back him, right? The player that we rejected, that we didn't want to pay a loan fee, was looking really sharp. And we're talking about Tell, right? Matthias Tell looked amazing. Yeah. The man of the match was Jed Spence. He was having a field day against Deloy. It was a good battle, but he was definitely have a field day. He was. Hang on a second. I have a message here coming through from Mark. I think Mark wants to come on as well. I'm not sure. No, he wasn't, guys. Anyway, I'm live. If you want to come in and have your say, I will share the link as well. Good to see you as well, Emmanuel. Good evening to you. How do you feel? Like, how do you feel? I mean, I'm comfortably numb. I don't feel anger. I don't feel sadness. I just accept it. It is what it is. We are definitely shit at the moment. I don't remember us ever being this low in the league. And do I look positive in terms of getting results in the Europa League, in the cups? Yeah, there might be a chance. You got to be like a little bit hopeful. That is the only thing we have left to play for on the positive note. Because why? It's cup game. Anything could happen. But you got to trust the players that you have, even if they're young, right? If they're young enough, they're good enough. Just trust in them. Trust. 100%. Ronak Joshi, he could have put 2 to 3 kids on at 75 minutes. 100%. Why? Why didn't he do that? But I love Ruben Amorim, but this is not acceptable. I think that a lot of Man United fans are scratching their heads and saying, when you guys were sitting there 75 minutes, were you thinking like I was thinking, what are you doing, Ruben? Throw in some kids. Do something. There was a corner from Spurs and the camera was zooming in and he was sitting like this, looking down at his shoelaces. Is this a beaten man? Is this a man that don't have the lost ability to trust in himself and his own ability to make any form of judgment? Of course, this is Manchester United. This is taking a toll on you. Everyone that's tried to ride the bull aged 10 years and got sacked at the end of the day. But I'm backing him. And I really hope that Ineos will actually back him in the summer. Really. I really hope. Because I love this manager, the way he's trying to make this work. But we don't simply have players that can play the system. I don't know if we should compromise to change the style of play. I don't think so. That's what we recruited him for. So let him cook. Let him see. Earlier today, like I said, look, you know what? At the end of the day, guys, treat it as a long preseason. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Really? I mean, the Premier League is over already. So what do you have to lose? I just don't understand. Really. We have 5 subs, but our genius manager choose to ignore them, even when our players were knackered after 70 minutes. Yeah. Exactly what I was thinking. Milos, what are you saying here? 29 points in Premier League. Yeah, that is a shame. Bruka Saramota. Yes. That is not United. And I don't want to even think how many points we can get. Right? 29 points. Are you having a laugh? 29 points. Paramount saying we actually created chances. We did, Paramount. That was the positive. We did create chances, but we were not clinical enough. We didn't have finishes, and Ruben should have brought in Chido for Højlund earlier. Should have, could have, would have. This just feels like a road trip for them. 100% like what the part, just a road trip to just have an experience. Kids, this is how it feels like to be a Premier League player, right? Kids, we are down to the bare bones. We are down 1-0. Kids, just sit there. I didn't see anyone warming up. They didn't even get instructions, right? Losing didn't hurt, according to Luman. Not seeing the kids hurts. And I think that is the general sentiment, Lumen, what most of us feeling. If I'm reading the chat line, the VR room, everyone feels mugged, robbed. Like, why didn't we see the kids? This is what we wanted to see. Because, again, I repeat myself like a broken record. The Premier League season is over. What do we have to lose? At least give us something to be excited about. But to give Chido Obi Martin only 3 minutes is a piss. It's a piss take. Given 10 minutes, he might have been scored. Just a long bomb for him to run on. He would have scored. But you know what? I don't understand Rasmus Højlund's game. I just don't understand. You're not a wrestler. That's not your job. You cannot hold the ball up at all. You get bullied by teenagers, by every single center back. You fall on your ass. You lose the ball. Xerxes, on the other hand, he's brilliant with, like, I liked Xerxes' play today. I really did. Playing in that number 10, like, he was kind of slippery like an eel, There was moments of play in the second half. It was beautiful play by Man United. 1-2 passes, having possessions. But the remainder of the game, we looked absolutely nervous, like we were shitting our pants. 3-4-3 might not work. Milos is saying they cannot play 3. If I'm just translating from Serbian here. 3-4-3 ne može da igra United. He says 3-4-3 United cannot play at this rate. In reality, it has to change formation according to your opinion, Milos. Try 4-4-2 to the end of the season. But that's the thing. I don't think he will change. He will never change. I don't think he will. And why should he? Milos, is it just to get some results to play a 4-4-2? I know. I'm just saying, stick to what you got. 3-4-3 to the end of the season. Play more kids, integrate them, and let them see what they can cook, right? Treat it as a long preseason. When the summer comes, back to you, Ineos, back to manager, see what you can do. Because in January, you said there was no value in the market. You got us Patrick Dorgo, 100%. He did actually great, but he was thrown in the deep end. Like, Patrick Dorgo is still new, trying to find his feet. But I thought he would look pretty solid, There was a couple of crosses there that was pretty good, 100%. But Diego Dalot, his counterpart on the right-hand side, shocker. Ball watcher, shocker. Didn't even go forward. Didn't even take on his fullback whatsoever. Yeah, what's the purpose, Diego? I would like to see us to get a Quenda in. If there is, the rumors is true that there is a deal already been pre-agreed in the summer that Quenda is coming in, then Dalot will be the sacrificial lamb, sitting as one of the, how do I call it, fringe players. Pan, you think that Amorim is a clown? I don't agree. Maybe it's your overreaction. Maybe it's your emotion. I don't see it that way. If the ones that you're calling a clowns, that they're pretty much above him, they're wearing the clown mask, the glazes, and the Ineos, I wouldn't blame it on Amorim. It's not his fault, right? He didn't have a proper summer window. He didn't have a proper preseason. So what can he do? The only thing is what you can see, maybe he's kind of thinking that I don't want to sort of put these kids to this, this trauma, right? Away against Spurs, 1-0 hostile environment. Yeah, maybe I just want to sort of trust the senior players to do a job. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that if buts and maybes, but let's just be sensitive, like, before we call anyone a clown. The only one you can call a clown is definitely Glazers, in my opinion. That is what I approve and endorse. Dennis, what you're saying here? Dennis comes in and say, I would take relegation to get rid of the mugs. Ineos and the Glazers are gaslighting us fans. Well, yeah, I mean, would you like us to see us to play one division down in the championship? That'd be fun, right? We've been relegated once before, but that means that there will be no money to spend. The sponsorship deals will be half, the Adidas, the Snapdragons. Is this something that you want to see on a club, just to see the money? And what is there for insurance that they will disappear and sell off, right? This morning we did this video, like, we called out, like, we call out the Glazers ownership and the Ineos, and we spoke about that the only way is to force them into, is kind of like, yeah, potentially to get down relegation and force them into selling, right? Because who wants to be owner of a championship club, right? Man United is, even in championship, will be generating lots of money anyway, because it's Manchester United, right? Or Man United could just liquidate the assets, what they own, the land banks, yeah, to put it right into the club. Because at the current stage, like, we don't have money. We don't have money for the summer window. Again, it comes out that we need to sell to buy, right? And if you're going to go with this policy, again, we're going to play youngster, kids. Well, this was a testament today that we're not playing kids, right? Nobody got a chance against just Chido Obi Martin, 3 minutes. So what is this BS? Trust the youth, trust the kids. Today was a golden opportunity to see, like, the best crop coming through since 1992. to give a chance. And we epically failed to do so. And I will call that on Ruben Amorim, to be honest. Ruben, this was your fault, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm being reactionary, but I'm also being real, like, because again, why didn't you use them, right? You played your players to the ground at 75 minutes. They look knackered, right? What choices do you have? What choices do you have? Paul S. coming in to say the basic problem for years at Manchester United is having strikers with no service and no goals. Ineos must secure Gyökeres in the summer. Gyökeres or whoever comes in. They said Gyökeres, they leaked out to the press that Gyökeres' age profile 27 is too old, and they compared Gyökeres and Højlund. They said they're similar profiles. Bullshit. So I agree with you saying. We need Gyökeres, we need an Osman, 100%. But in order to fix that striker, the midfield needs to be solid. Why did you choose to play with Casimiro? No legs at all. No legs. He was a liability, and he was targeted deliberately by the Spurs midfield. And Bruno had to play the chaperone, shielding him. So that means that in the first half, we didn't have any creativity, right? At all. At all. Even the balls came through to Rasmus Højlund. He didn't score. He got service. He did. He didn't score. Garnacho got service as well. He didn't score. So we were not clinical enough. 100%. Emmanuel is saying, Mick, I don't understand Ruben's pattern of play. I think he's a little bit lost at the moment. Why can we give these young players a chance to prove themselves? Lately, it looks a little bit lost. Our players look a little bit lost in his system as well. It's first half. This is a pattern that I see, guys. First half is very defensive. Just sit back, absorb, play kind of 5 in the back, absorb. Dalot is playing deeper. He doesn't dare to go forward. It doesn't have the balls to go forward. Dorgo is new, learning, doesn't really dare to do any mistakes as well. So they're afraid of making mistakes. First half starts very slow for Manchester United, playing very defensive. We concede a goal in the first half. Mark my words, this has happened so many times. Second half, we throw in the kitchen sink and have panic FC. We have been the best team in the second half always, but it's a little bit too late. A little bit too late. Now, what's ironically is because Ruben Amorim has been rotating frequently with this team, starting his weakest team. It's been quite predictable to see that whoever started, came in the second half will start in the next game, but just to avoid injuries. And when we did have more time to train, what happened on the training pitch, because all of a sudden we have 3 injured players, was it to increase the intensity? Ugarte gone. Collier gone. Amad Diallo for the season with the ankle injury. And now also Kobe Mainoo gone. There was some reports that say Paul Pogba to Manchester United in March. Listen, Jesus Christ. Always thinking that, Lord. But then I was thinking, well, if Paul Pogba comes to Man United, just give him a short-term contract. Like, don't pay him. Just, you get paid per games that you play, right? What harm could it do? We need more senior players on the pitch. I know he hasn't played a lot, but at least there's bodies there. Because guess what? We got to compete in the Europa League. We need to try to win the Europa League. Europa League is the only path for the Champions League, and give us some more money. Give us some more money. Paul S. I have no expectations for the club. If we win, it's a nice surprise. It's like a Kinder Surprise, mate. If we lose, I don't get emotional. I'm feeling like you, mate. I'm emotionally numb. It is like a Kinder Egg, Paul. You buy this Kinder Egg. It's a beautiful wrap. It's nice little thin chocolate. You enjoy the chocolate, and you don't really know what's inside. You get this little toy, which you don't really know. Today I felt a little bit positive. I felt like we're going to lose, but at least I felt a little bit. There is a chance, because guess what? You have kids sitting on the bench. Kids will come in and prove themselves, give it all for the badge to impress the manager. And that was an epic fail. Why didn't you do that, Ruben? Ruben. Dennis, big up Dennis. Mick, I think Amorim looks broken. I think I agree with you. This is what this club does to managers, whoever tries to master this bull. Ineos never replaced Rashford or Anthony, and they will. And with all this injury, not even Fergie or Pep would have succeeded. Dennis, that is music to my ears. How you're thinking. Instead of saying Amorim out, you're coming here with some logical explanation. And absolutely abomination from Ineos. They come in to say there's no value on the market. Matthias tell we don't want to pay that extortion loan fee, but guess what? Look what he's doing for Spurs at the moment. He looked far too dangerous. A 19-year-old, right? No, we have Rasmus Højlund. He looks good. Really? Rasmus Højlund hasn't scored in the Premier League since December. Totally dry out, right? Okay, there was a moment where he could have scored. Xerxes had a header that brushed off his microphone head, and Xerxes and Rasmus was there. But yeah, Hubba, I agree what you're saying here. Of course he's broken. Of course they lied to him, and he's the poor man that has to face the press, because there's no spokesman from the above him that will speak, right? There was a lot of PR where, Ratcliffe loved to speak to the press, like, oh, yeah, you know what I mean? But where are they now? Where are they now? Hiding, sacking staff, increasing ticketing prices, getting screwed, getting rid of Rashford, Anthony. Okay, they was clear and obvious. They tried to sort of reduce their wage bill, but to what cost? As what you said, they never replaced him, right? So it's holiday on ice here. We're skating on thin ice, and guess what happened? They never counted that we will have injuries. Never. Well, definitely cracks are starting to show, Dino. And this is sad because I love my club. I love this manager, and I want this manager to be successful. But in order to bloody be successful, you need proper summer window backing. You need it. Support a team or piss off. Yeah, 100%. That's what we do. We support a team. Or we're not going to piss off, mate. But we support a team. But we don't support the ownership, mate. That's clear and obvious, mate. Vincent, what you're saying here? I feel the difference was the winning goal. We created chances, but finishing was poor. Plus major players injuries, 100%. Look, we had chances. I'm not arguing. We did, but we're not clinical. We didn't bury it. I keep watching the replay. Garnacho. Clearly, on a normal Sunday, I see how Ruben was so pissed off. I see in the replay and the instant reaction from Garnacho. He knew it, He had an open, gaping hole. Garnacho on any given Sunday would have buried that. But what he did, instead of putting the wrist, he did the side and leaned backwards, and the ball went, poof. Sponsored by Fly Emirates. Fly better. And Xerxes' header also, I'm watching that in replay. This was one of these games when the ball just didn't want to get in. It was written in the star that Ange Postecoglou saved his job, and Ruben saved his job as well. We have Jay coming in to say, it still baffles me why we keep going for good managers, and when they come in, we make them look stupid. Look at Amorim, for example. He had so much going for him at Sporting. Man, he must be sitting and thinking to himself, what did I get into? Right? I want to be a fly in the wall regarding the negotiation when actually they flew down to convince him to sign up for United, because he basically humbly said in his humble way to say, look, I don't mind if I come in the summer, I want to finish the season. It's not normal to come 9 games in. I didn't have a preseason. I don't know these players. And look what we are. Is it Ruben's fault? Is it? Nah, it's not. It's not Ruben's fault. Anyway, now look at what he has to deal with. Shambles. Meaning, yeah, the players, what's left. Big up Mick and chat. Big up Elian Tenno. The manager's garbage. Next. Well, now Alien Tenor, Peter, you're getting emotional there as well, of course. Next. So are you suggesting that we should continue this hamster wheel of sacking managers and get a new one? And what did we achieve then, Peter? We're going backwards again, starting over again and over again and over again. It's that vicious cycle. I'd rather see it differently. Get rid of these players that don't belong here. Casimiro should be gone already. Victor Lindelof, Hoover, sitting there on the bench, soaking, gone. Eriksson, gone. Sell Rashford, gone. Sell Anthony, gone. And then start fresh. This is money that you can definitely free up. And then start backing Amorim in the summer, right? If the season is over now, doesn't mean that we have to be cry wolf right now. We can look forward for the next season and let him have a full summer to implement and train. This is the only way, and this is the only positive way that I see, right? Dalot has also been sold in the summer, Jay. I agree, man. If Quenda comes in, great, but we need to add to that. Maybe Frimpong or Venderson, 100%. There needs to be one player, two players for each position, equally good. So if one is injured, one is gone, one comes in, you don't feel the notice. Dalot at the moment is not the player. He's not, it's not the player for me. I don't know what's happened to Dalot, but if you think about Dalot was actually recruited by Jose Mourinho, and he recruited him as a defensive right back. He's not a wing back, and he's not even that good in defending. We all seen it. We all know it. Paul S comes in with a big ass super chat, almost $10, man. Love you to pieces, Paul. Big up Mick for the channel and talking sense after this many losses. It's like a grief therapy. Here's a tenner for continue the stream. Namaste. Thank you so much for your tenor, Paul. Thank you. Yeah, for me, it's a therapy to talk to you guys. Like, what do you do when the team lose? Normally, I don't like to be reactionary. I like to think fresh. I take my dog out for a walk and I cuss a little bit for myself. But this game alone, I felt like I'm not even angry because I've accepted the fact that, the Premier League season was over. So all I wanted to see is to sort of see some refreshness, some kids playing. So thank you for your super chat. Kenny Fan TV, big up Mick. Most of this squad needs to be sold. This team is tapped. Tapped. Yeah, tapped. Alien Tenor, which manager then? Okay, yeah, good question for Alien Tenor. Which manager would you take on board, Alien Tenor? Which manager? But guys, thank you. Paul S., thank you for your tenor. And thank you all for coming in. Amorim, Amorim did have time at Sporting. He did bring up youngsters, 100%. Kwanda was one of his academy players. And he did manage to, of course, at Sporting, they did already play that system, Milos, like, even in the academy. So he needs time at United, 100%, to proper have time. Dino, what you're saying here, my friend, okay, we were decent in patches, but we were poor losing. Losing is still losing. When we start looking at the manager, if this was Ten Hag, we would want him gone. Yeah, the team has regressed. Look, he inherited this shit, Dino. Like, we did have great moments in this game. There was patches, and they looked shaky. In the second half, we look much far better, right? And the thing is, what you can really hurt Spurs because their confidence is also lower. Like, their defense is pretty shit as well. The goalkeeper just came back from injury, from long-term injury, so we should have gone for it. And that is why I'm saying, why didn't you bring in Chido Obi Martin at least? Give him 15 minutes to prove himself, to do something. But 3 minutes? 3 minutes? What happens in 3 minutes? Maybe you get one run. And maybe if you're lucky, you get a tap in. Maybe. Peter, I'm just tired of these players. Watched Liverpool Wolves today, and Cunha was the best player in that match. Oh, Cunha, what a player. We're going nowhere without signing these kind of talents. Ahmad is all that we have. Peter, you're absolutely right. Cunha is a dream signing for me. I love Cunha. Him alone, just on the pitch, is like him doing two-person's job. Like, he's got that what Ruben Amorim wants, intensity. drive, determination, definitely. So we need to look at that. Like, we need to sort of, I'm not going specifically on Dalla, but I'm so tired of seeing him ball watching. When the 1-0 goal went in, what could have done? Like, yeah, there was a shot stop, but the defense, where were they? It was an open tap in for Maddison. Dalla was standing there ball watching. The defenders were ball watching, not even reacting. Unfortunately. Big up to you as well, Dennis. Big up, great chat. Off to work now. Enjoy your work, brother, and forget about this game, right? Forget about this game. Listen, from my end, yeah, we gotta be real. We gotta look at some positives, but we also gotta give the guns and the roses. My guns goes to Ruben Amorim today to say, Ruben, I'm disappointed. I know it ain't your fault, but you should have trusted the kids, because guess what? Your counterpart on the other side that you hugged so dearly and had a nice conversation, Ange Postecoglou, did that. He did 5 substitutions, and they were youngsters. He said to presidents, why didn't you? Why did you only give 3 minutes to Chido Obi Martin? You had Jack Fletcher on the bench. You had the prodigy, the number 6, Sekokone, is ready enough. You had, who did you have? Look, you had Harrison, the bench, the goalkeeper, Obi Martin, even the Arsenal Academy product, Heaven, Sekokone, Jack Fletcher was on the bench, Fredrickson, Morehouse. Morehouse is a, how do I explain? Morehouse is a ball carrying midfield. He would have done difference carrying the ball. And Harry Amas on the bench. You're telling me that you bring these kids for an excursion and not planning to use them, And if you look at Ange Postecoglou, he put in, for Deniso, he put in Gray, right? Then he did for Son Heung-min of Obert. Never heard of this kid before, Obert, right? Bissouma came in. Johnson came in as well. Pepe Sarr came in instead of Lucas Bergvall is a youngster as well. Hey, statistically speaking, some people don't like stats. Man United was outplayed in possession. We used to be in possession, but Man United had 44% of possession. But if you look at total shots, we're talking about whiskey shots or tequila shots. Let me have a shot on my whiskey. Spurs has 22 shots. United had 16 shots. Total shots on target. Spurs won 7 shots on target. United 6. So that wasn't bad. But total passes. Spurs managed to string 519 passes versus Man United 394. I know that stats is kind of boring. That doesn't really tell you the game. Man United's passes completed 329 versus Spurs 457. Right? Aerial duels 199. So it's okay. It's okay, guys. A lot of things has to change, but you know what? This is the lowest point in my Man United supporter career that I've seen us falling so low that I don't even have the answer anymore. I don't even feel sad or anything. I'm just like, okay, whatever, acceptance. The 5 stages of depression, you just come to the final stage, which is acceptance, So Paul S. Amorim is not the problem. The problem is Ineos and the Glazers. We will miss revenue from Europe. If relegated, we lose Adidas deal. We're not losing the Adidas deal, Paul. We're just getting half of that money, half of what was promised, what it was worth. How will we pay the interest on debt? Well, they are forced in. Listen, this might be a blessing in the sky for them to come to the table to say, listen, we cannot do this anymore, right? How are we going to service this interest on the debts, right? Something just dropped, Paul, with your message here. Maybe that is a blessing in disguise. Maybe that is what needs to take place because, hey, they will be forced to do something like Todd Bowley used to do. Like Todd Bowley sold their assets, right? Hotels and everything to sort of have the money to invest. Well, guess what? Man United owned a lot of land bank around, Old Trafford and everything. Why don't you liquidate that, sell some of your assets and put it in? Or you might be able to say, listen, come summer, we don't have the money. Ineos tried. They cannot pump in their own money. They're broke themselves. They're facing a legal battle as well with the All Blacks. So why don't they just sit down and say, well, listen, Joel Avram, this didn't work. This project didn't work. Let's just sell up because guess what? We have at least an agreement that, the Class B shares would be minimum $33. So let's put it up for auction. I sell, you sell. We might get $40 per share. Happy days. We all cash in, and we probably might get a valuation for 9 to 10 million. Yeah. Hang on a second. My TV just came on. Bear with me. Noise. Yeah, guys, sorry, my TV has its own life. So basically showing Leicester, Arsenal, and big up Arsenal chasing Liverpool. It's 13 games left to play. Do you think that, they can catch up, right? Certainly will be interesting because if we look at us, we should worry about the relegation. My instant reaction to what I'm saying there, because we got to look at positives and potentials, because I don't see us getting revenue anywhere. If this happens that we don't qualify from Europa League, we lose out on FA Cup, we don't go to Europa League at all or Champions League whatsoever, we are fucked basically financially, right? We're not going to see a summer window. We might even be forced to sell like half of this team, right? That includes Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo, Rasmus Højlund. Basically, we're going to be thin. Oh, it's a scary thought, man. It's a scary thought. But look, somebody said like if somebody wants to see relegation for us to go in the championship. But you know what? I don't want to be in the championship. What I want to see is some form of the whole lot sell it. Like, the go to the market. And hopefully we get some billionaire coming in that has actually the passion and love for the club to actually clear the debt, right? Because you don't want to go into the administration. That's the last thing you want to do. Before you go to administration, at least you can put it for auction because, hey, banks has to say, listen, guys, we want our money. And you know what? You cannot refinance anymore. There's debts. Of course, banks want the money back. You know what I mean? So a lot of us players need to go, they ball watching. The amount of time, the space we're giving the opponents when they're on the ball, dare me. Me too, Jay. Just be good football, Jay. Anyway, Milos Mitic, big up to you. City will beat us in the championship. That's a funny thing. Imagine Dragons. That's a good band, by the way. Imagine Dragons. Look me in the eye. Tell me what you see. Is it paradise for you and me? 'Cause I'm a bad liar. Imagine Dragons if City gets relegated and we follow them. What a derby, man. What a derby. What a derby. 9 to 10 million is a lot of money for a club. So much debt, if you ask me. Yeah. Listen. My club, if my grandfather would be alive right now, he will turn in his grave and spit hellfire. At least he passed away watching us winning championships, trophies, Premier Leagues. Grandfather was the only reason why I got into United, as a little baby, My granddad was a massive Man United fan, and my dad was a massive United fan too, right? They would keep arguing who was the better striker, who was the better player, Dennis Law. I mean, granddad was all about the Busby Babes, right? But dad was all about, George Best and, all that stuff. And of course, me grew up with Sir Alex Ferguson area. Of course, we've seen it all. We won a lot. But lately, what we're seeing right now, It's not the team that I fell in love with. It's not the club that I know. The minute Sir Alex Ferguson left, that was the death of a club. And I do understand that Ineos is trying to sort of sweep, fix the mess, but it's too much. The damage has been done, too much. So maybe it is for the best that we just go and grab the bull by the horn and they sell up the lot. Because I don't see them, and I don't see Glazers ever put in $1 single to the club. And if they don't see for 10 years from now they can take any dividends, what's the point of hanging around? This club was already going down, and Ineos came in and tried to solve it. But they probably realized that this is a bigger headache than we expected. And with the new PSR rules not coming into play for next season, it's even hard, mission impossible. Anyway, guys, man of the match, man of the hour went to Spurs. There was to Jed Spence. I thought he was immense. He was amazing. He beat Dalot on numerous occasions. From Manchester United side, I thought that if I have to sort of give praise to one Man United player, I'll definitely say, who was that? Was there anyone? I thought De Ligt has a pretty good game defensively. He tried. He did. I thought Xerxes tried as well. I thought the Bruno Fernandes had a stinker, but it wasn't his fault because Bruno had to sort of play babysitter chaperone to Casimiro that didn't have any legs. Man, tell me one player that stood out for Man United today. Can you think of anyone from something positive out of this? All right, so I'm struggling. Garnacho missed a lot of sitters. Nah. Dogo tried, it was good. Maz was absolutely reliable. Yeah, he was. De Ligt was reliable too. De Ligt was good in the back. I think even Harry Maguire had a good game, to be honest. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, guns and roses. The roses went to Spurs. They were the ones. We got the thorns and we got the guns. At the end of the day, we were humiliated by Spurs again. The only sweetness that I wanted to see is the revenge from the Spurs. But guess what? They're still in Europa League, and so are we. So we might get a fourth chance to actually beat him if we meet him. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I try to have sort of a balanced approach. Try to talk about football, talk about life in general, being on general positive mood. Although we lost the game, but guess what? It is what it is. Man United is shit at the moment. Ineos is crap. Glazers is still there. Amorim is trying, but Amorim today didn't trust the kids, and that's why I'm disappointed. There's 13 games left of the Premier League. Ruben Amorim, if you are listening, I don't think you are listening. Please start integrating these kids because they are our future. This has been Mick Ruby from Mufc RealistTV. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And most important thing, check your notification bell button, right? Because guess what? YouTube on this channel have gone and removed it. So that's why you're not getting notified. I got a lot of message from people to say, Mick, I used to have notification all on your channel. But for some reason, when I get back into it, YouTube has changed to none. Unfortunately, this is what they do to our channel. But anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and go check out Jarvis's Corner, Tactical Devils. He's speaking tactics, and we should see you tomorrow. I will be joining with Jarvis's tomorrow in Jarvis's Corner, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, and whatever you're thinking, whatever you're doing, enjoy for. Think about something else. Put on a movie, walk the dog, whatever. But you know what? See you to the next time, and thank you for watching. Glory, glory, Man United. Glazers out, Bankers out, Ineos out. Peace. Bye. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc RealistTV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.